Hey, welcome back one last time. So, you want to know what could possibly go wrong building this home here in Thailand? Well, buckle up, let me tell you. Let's go for the ride. So, although not obvious at first glance, the biggest thing I would say structurally is that the second floor was built 40 centimeters. What? 40 centimeters, almost half a meter too high. 40 centimeters too high. Can you imagine that? And from there, everything falls into place. So 40 centimeters too high. You're wondering, what does that possibly mean here? This was a post, and the stairs were supposed to end at the post with a landing. And yet, where the post is, we have step number another, and the ground. So all of this had been modified for the stairs, which should have ended here. Oops, got the comfy chair in the way. So the stairs that should have ended here had to do all this to accommodate for the extra. He said 40, but it's actually even more. 40 centimeters too high. And simple math, my guessing is that they were measuring to the one side of the beam when they should have been measuring to the opposite side of the beam. And that's what threw everything off. So because of that, the pitch of the roof is off. Because of the angles. The lighting then is off because we're not having double tracks. So many things, but we worked around it. We're like, okay, he's like, I can just do it like this, which sort of cuts into the existing dining room area. He says, I'm gonna build this wall here. I can do all this stuff so that's not very noticeable, because I'm like, I don't want these stairs just sticking out like this. That'd be ridiculous. You come out of the bedroom at nighttime, you can only imagine what would happen if we left it like that. But Yumi has her white bear on it, so Yumi's happy. Anyways, yeah, so 40 centimeters too high. That's the first obvious thing, is all of this real estate has been used up with stairs. So the next point is then these windows. Because it's too high and the pitch of the roof has changed, this main post here, which came up, should have ended here and two gone up, the boxed in and one up. This window is supposed to be much larger, and there's not supposed to be any posts in it at all. Structurally, it ended here, and then it went with two more on the sides, which were all metal, all part of this metal welding, but that didn't happen. This guy went the concrete right to the top, which, you know, may be strong and everything, not the way the architect had designed it. So now we have this post in the middle. Okay, you're saying not a big deal, it's just two windows instead of having like 3 or 6 in essence. Yeah, that's true, but if you can't read the blueprints, then things start going awry. Of course, we didn't know that either, and now I do know those things. This next point here is going to be a culmination of, look at how many things went wrong here. First off, they weren't going to put in enough concrete here, and we talked about the scooter ride, so then they did, but then they built this wall here straight down, so I kicked it over. But the thing I was trying to show you here is the chimney. Faux chimney, because we don't obviously have a wood-burning fireplace, but it was made too large and too tall. Originally, it was boxed in this high, straight across and down. And all I can tell you is it's nothing like the plans. And even now, it's still way too high and too deep. But it's a little thing, but again, it's just following the plans. Next was this here. This was supposed to be a window on the original plans before the change. So after the change up came the window that was this size over here was going to be redesigned into a door so that it would continue down and it would be a sliding door this wide. Instead, the guy made the hole huge, and of course we had to accommodate it with a door. But of course the price goes up when you get a door like twice the size, and to the point where we didn't put a motor on this one. Extra roof tiles. Why is that? I'll probably cover that later on. That'll be a little bite. Next, well, I can't get past the bug pipe thing here. So this was another disaster. Again, simple remedy, but it was never on the plans, never called for. We had called for a pressurized system from day one, and the builder just went ahead and did this. That's a whole other story, but just say that's something else that's wrong. And so next up is going to be the laundry room. The laundry room. So the very first time we got around to testing the water was so late in the construction that we already had the washing machine here. And we hooked the water up and it did not fill. The previous videos are on that, but it didn't fill. And after their investigation, they realized that the water pipe was never connected, they're assuming, so they busted up the cement in the wall, ran new pipe outside, busted it through along the back to our pump and tied into our pump line system. So now we're having water here. So the first time I do a test load on the washing machine, I fill it up with water, I drain it, and it floods all over the floor. Of course, I'm thinking, my gosh, the new machine has a leak. No, so what happened is the water was going down this drain, and there's another drain on the opposite side here, which was the regular floor drain. It was coming up there. First off, this floor drain is not even supposed to be a floor drain. It's supposed to be in the wall, and the washing machine is supposed to tap into it to drain and go down. But anyway, so these are just two drains that were joined together, and they didn't go anywhere. After they're investigating and feeding lines through and stuff, they didn't go anywhere. So as it was draining down here, it was just coming up here and flooding back into the room. So that's something else, is most of the tiles flowed the wrong way. But then they had to dig up all of this for the drain, because then they had to tie the drain back in, so they're busting up all the concrete. Again, there's videos on that. But now that the dirt has settled under it, solid, we're getting the hollow again, which has now been fixed here, because last time this was all hollow. But yeah, so that little shenanigans. Next up, the railings that the builder was going to include were ones that his guy was going to fabricate on site. And I had another video of that as well, where unfortunately, because we let them attempt it, there's holes in the wood where they had cut into it to weld their pipes and everything. And this one actually came right into my sternum. I'm 188 centimeters, 6'2", and it was hitting me mid-chest. And then up at the top there, it was much lower. It was about the height of my knees. Yeah, so anyways, we pulled all that out, and then Jen found this guy that would do this, and he was in Bangkok, anyways. But that was just another problem. And I guess while I'm looking at the stairs and the wood, they told us that there was only like 1 or 2 wood stain colors, which I know is incorrect. I took woodworking grade 8, 9, 10. You can stain wood any color you want. Anyways, so that's why we have so many different colors of wood. Door frames are one, the doors are one, this is one. Those are something else. This is something that the guy built, the door hanger guy. Anyways, that's why there's so many different colors of wood. I would not like that, ideally, but that's the way it is. Next problem, from the first problem. Whoop, the sun's up there. Okay, well, you can see between the 2 sets of windows, that big post. Yeah, so it's not supposed to be there. These are supposed to be all continuous windows with the structure on both sides. Oh, structure on the roof. Let's talk about the gables. So this is the big room up here where all the monks were lined up, 9 of them during the house blessing. But the gables have been on the plan since day 1. Opening windows have been on the plan since day 1. This beam is a double. It's actually 2 that have been welded together. Obviously, the architect did not design it here. There's supposed to be 1 on each side. The spacing of them is just wrong. You know, I can only imagine, but maybe this should have been the double, or on that side the double. But anyways, there's not supposed to be anything between the window here. And that one there, the same. That one over there, the same. Obviously, they're not supposed to be like that, but we just live with that. Let's look at the roof. So because the pitch of the roof is off, there's supposed to be a double set of lights in here and on that side as well. But the third set is supposed to be in the ceiling as well, because it's supposed to be a greater ceiling. Anywho, long and the short, we took back all the lights that we had for this here, and we got these ones here, which are angled down. They're adjustable, so they're all angled downward, which is kind of like the best we can do. The ones on this side, we decided not to put them in, just go with the single row. They were, again, gonna put these ones here, cut them onto the sides here of this angle and have them, nope. So we canceled that. On an unrelated note, this little bird had her 2 babies, and they're up here. After we saw that they had laid their eggs, I decided to leave them. They're on the outside of the screen, so they can't come in, and they're protected, of course, from the weather. But But once they learn how to fly, we'll clean that out. I just didn't want to distract them, but they were just born yesterday. Yeah, cute, eh? Oh, and also the kitchen lights like that, the track with those is because these ones here, they really don't throw any light at all. Having them on or not on really doesn't make any difference. I think it only goes like a couple of meters, it seems. So we put those on because at least they throw some more light. And we put the warm bulbs in there so they kind of give the kitchen an orangey, you know, a warm glow, which is okay. But yeah. Next problem. Of course, I like the kitchen layout and everything. We finally got the gas stove in and working. I just keep saying that's not a story. So plumbing, when I was doing the laundry room, I should have said, except for this sink, because this sink was installed by the kitchen cabinet guys. Other than this sink, every single plumbing fixture leaked. Every single one leaked that our builder installed. Every single one leaked. And if it didn't leak originally, like say the one in the laundry room, it's because there was no water going to it. Yeah, toilets, bathtubs, urinals, magic toilet, spray guns, bum guns on the wall, taps, hot water machines, every single connection leaked. Hey, so who's that guy? Buriram! Dang! Keeping in line with every single tap, faucet, fixture leaked. So inside the shower, this is what he's done. He's put 2 supply water. We can't figure out what this one's for. This one we've tapped, obviously, to the hot water machine. Hot water comes back out, goes here, so it's regulated. That's fine. This one is just gushing water. Interesting, don't need it. It's there. Bum gun, very good. Not the one that they built the house with. This is the one I've changed and put on. They had like a plastic one. Anyways, this is good metal. It's got some weight to it. But another water supply here. What's this for? If I open it, it just floods onto the ground. Yeah, weird, right? So we have lots of things like that. And otherwise, yeah, bathroom's good. I like it. I guess because I'm still here, we can talk about the electrical. Things like this. They don't have the GFI type plugs. These are just regular plugs with plastic covers, no silicone on them, which they do make. And they do make the ground fault interrupt plugs, although they do have a different letter sequence. I'll probably just insert that on the video right here, what they call them. It slips my mind right now. But yeah, so things like that. Even our outside plugs are like that. They're not, like you can't hose down the house because so there's supposed to be a light switch right here. You come into the bathroom, you turn the light switch on. And originally there was, but before the electrician had done his thing, they had moved it to this side of the wall. Yeah, can you see my finger? So yeah, that's the bathroom light. And that one's for above here. So yeah, there's really no sequence to this. I'm just walking through the house pointing out things that are wrong. Let's see what's next. So one of the things that's right is this little ghost light, which goes through the 2-part ceiling. That's one that I picked up online, had the electrician come back and install. It was always in the plan, but it was never installed. So it does have its own switch, and then these are the regular lights. AC, everything in here is good, works. Even the height of this, good. No complaints in this room. Let's head down to the master. So we're in the master, and the things wrong with the master initially was this countertop. It was built, what was it? It should have been at 32 inches. It was built at 23 inches. So originally the countertop, yeah, was down here. Now I can sort of hold this. Look where my knee is. And that's where the countertop was built. Can you see that? Yeah. So it was built at my knee level. And so because we didn't have any more of these tiles, and the wait would have been too long, and the guy was full of excuses, he just bojanged whatever tiles we had left over. Like some of these were actually sideways, they're from the kitchen. And this is different pattern. Just jam it in and make it fit. Yeah. So the other thing was they were big at dropping their hammer, and this tile was chipping quite often. There's one here which is sort of hidden away, but there's lots of times I'm just sitting looking at the floor wondering why life goes on. Look, and there's just chips that you just see. They never did put on the edges on here, so the guy came back with his grinder and kind of knocked the sharpness off. But it's just left it open now. All of them. The only time that they installed them was when we went out and bought it, because the first time they had built the sink at this level, they didn't have any. And we're like, what? Oh, something else too, along with the whole plumbing thing. So this goes with tiles now. Anybody putting tiles down, take notes. It's okay if you do your walls first, but don't put on the border wall, the last one, until you put the floor on. The floor has to go on first. And then the wall tile sits on top of it. We have our walls on, then we have our floors butted up against it, and the water just goes right in between. Also, our builder didn't use any silicone seal, so I've silicone sealed all of the bottoms and the seams and everything like that, because he used the same grout. So water was just leaking right through here. The other thing that's important is this little sill that the ledge is on. Now the door guy can only do so much installing the door, but the little sill leans forward. And so any water that lands on the sill was rolling forward, and it was only the grout stuff, chalky stuff, so water was just coming right through there. Other than that, the first row of tiles slope towards the door as well. This first row sloped towards the door. So water just naturally wants to escape. Yep. The rest of them slope towards the drain, that's fine. This was the gun that he had installed in the other toilet, a plastic one. I don't know why we have this here either, but the plumber plumbed it, so he just attached it. I'm not going to drill in a hole because we got the magic toilet. So with that, we don't need this. What else? The water slopes away from the drains in most places. Are we finished in this room? My goodness. The wide assortment of tiles, some were because they were on the wrong track. They should have been used in the kitchen. And then these ones are sideways. And these ones are... Anyways, if you're not handing the guy the tile one at a time and telling him where to put it, that's what happened. The last thing I want to point out are the tiles. He started with the full tiles coming this way from that wall, but he also started with the full tiles coming this way from this wall. So unfortunately they meet in the middle, and now he's got a bunch of little pieces right like in the middle of the room, or a bunch of little pieces put together. Can you imagine that? And then you just see like nothing, pattern-wise, nothing lines up. All right, next. Still in the master bedroom, this is the area which is underneath the stairs, and I'm just showing you that from this side because this is the way it was designed. It was never even designed to be a closet because we were always going to use that walk-through as the closet. So this was always designed that it was going to be Yumi's area, and we would do something similar to this, just have her gate put across. Of course, she doesn't like being in there. She likes to be like right with us all the time, but if company comes over, we can put her in there. Otherwise, she scratches on the door. But, or we can just let the company go scratch on their door. What? I don't know what that means. Anyways, so this is the way it's supposed to be, like this. Light switch, all good. We've got our suitcases under here. Yeah, perfect. Why am I showing you this? Because let's go to the living room side. I've just swiveled the TV out of the way to give you a better look. It actually comes over this way as well. But right behind the TV is where the original coax cable is mounted, secured. And so the TVs in here in the bedrooms and all that are all here, and then they go up and into above the garage. But these new boxes on this AIS we're using, everything is wireless, Wi-Fi, so we don't have to run any coax. But anyways, the builder had actually built the door starting from just the left side of there. He had built it open, like this big opening here, to go under the stairs. So like the only flat wall here would have had like this big hole here to go under the stairs. Doesn't that just not... It's not that it doesn't make sense, but the plans don't show it. The plans show this a continue wall with the opening coming through the bedroom. And then the switches were shoveled off onto a post there. Oh, the electrician, the guy that did the actual original wiring was not the same guy to finish off the job. So we have switches all over that aren't connected to anything. And we have the switch at the top of the stairs here turns on the one light outside. We have the switch here that turns on the light outside, and we have the switch in the garage to turn on the post lights. So you got to get your tracker on when you do stuff like that. I'll turn the lights on, and then you're running up and down. Anyways, weird, right? Some switches are here for outside lights, some aren't. The switch for the bathroom, we've covered that. That's on the outside of the wall, not inside. The switch for the laundry room is here. And then the switch for the outside lights, which, you know, could be put anywhere. The switch for the outside lights is actually inside the laundry room. So every time you turn the laundry room, you have to go in here and turn the lights on outside. And they're really nice lights. No complaining about that. Beautiful lights, but isn't that weird? Yeah, let me just say, that's not the way the architect designed it. He had like pages of just wiring diagrams, schematics, whatever. Oh, is there more? There's going to be more. Next up, just swinging back into the kitchen right now. I know things have changed since the last time I designed a kitchen, But interesting thing like these here, these two corners. At home in Vancouver, our doors were like a bifolding door, and we had like the Lazy Susan inside, like the roundabouts. But what they have now, and this might be pretty standard, I don't know, but it's new to me, is when you pull it out, it pulls out the inner drawer, but then it pulls this one out, which has been tucked inside there. And then when you push it back in, of course it pushes in the first one, this way. And then this one closes into the hole there. Yeah. And this is the same. Interesting, eh? Yeah, I just think that's cool. Other things which are standard now is this one here, which is like the spice racks, things like that. And this one here, there's like a little fill, so they did this. And then, yeah, this is a whole, this was a, can't even explain why they have that. They told us that their original plans on the kitchen were too short. And so we thought, well, if they're gonna make it bigger, why don't they make it a lot bigger? Because we didn't have to get this size of fridge. We got this fridge to fill in the hole because the cupboards ended up being short. So anywho, well, we also found out that from the kitchen guys, when they had done their measurements and they had measured, they let us know that it was gonna be so far off this post. And so I thought, oh, it's gonna be just wide enough. Maybe we could put a water machine here, you know, a cooler or something, plug it in. But it's gonna be kind of awkward to squeaky through. Well, then when they brought the kitchen in, we're like, well, this is huge. The guy's like, oh, that post maybe isn't where it's supposed to be. Because the kitchen obviously hasn't changed its size. We're like, yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, me again, we're back in the bathroom. Why? Because I just wanted to show you this toilet, and both were the same. Where the plumber had installed the original drain hole was too close to the wall. And so instead of moving it properly, or maybe we would change out the toilets. I don't know if they have different measurements on the toilet where the actual drain hole is, or if it's a standard, you know, right into the 5-inch pipe, if it's a standard measurement. Or maybe it was done before the red bricks were done, like the secondary wall, I don't know. Whatever it was, anyways, so this was their repair. So they just thought that by leaving the cement open like that, water would naturally flow. But what you see there is that it's a half moon shape. So being from a 5-inch circle, all of a sudden it's down to less than 50%. It's only about 35, 40% efficient where the water and waste can actually go through the hole. And that's if it's like a half moon shape. Imagine that. And now look at all the bare concrete sort of at the front. And so when I made this video, originally, I went to Jen and told her that we had a problem, and she called up the builder who wasn't on site every day. It was his company, sort of, he had guys here. And so he said he came out and looked at it, and he told Jen everything's repaired, it's all good. He said not to worry, it's all been fixed. So all you can do is take their word for it, right? Or pull the toilet out. But yeah, so let's go up to the roof and have a look at the tile placements. Okay, so let me preface by saying there won't be a next time. There won't be a next time. But for people out there building, here's something you should know. First off, the roof guy doesn't care. Their whole thing is it doesn't leak. But if you can see where the gable tiles, where's my finger? Gable tiles and the flat roof and the gable, where they join, you see how none of those corners line up? So it's hard to see the other gables unless I go further away, but every gable is like that. They just don't line up. And the reason they don't line up is because the original straps that were put on. So what they do first is they weld the frame, the main frame in place, because there is no wood. So that's good. And then they put all the straps on and they screw them in with self-tapping screws. That's good. And now obviously the thing to know for next time is if those straps don't line up with those straps, then the tiles are going to be off. And that's exactly what happened. And in my previous pictures, I think it even shows that the straps don't line up. But of course, I don't know to even think about that being a problem. But anyways, yeah, so that's a problem. So the straps have to line up. But the builder guy, he's just like, what? It doesn't leak. It's perfect. I'm like, it looks terrible. The other thing was they were using all this brown metal underneath it. And he goes, don't worry, you're not going to see it. Well, you can't really see it on the camera, but I can see it. I don't think it should be brown. So for the rest of the house, they got a bucket of gray paint. And they painted them all gray. Perfect. Looks great. But yeah, even up here, And again, you can't really see it with your eyes, but so now the problem with the tiles, I would guess, is that the spacing is too far apart. So if they were a little bit closer together, a little bit tighter, they would have used a few more rows to get the job done, and then we wouldn't have had so many extra. Easiest place to show you is say on the garage here. You can see two screws, one, baby tiles. And that's because the spacing is all off. Where those, well, you can see, here, where these ones actually tuck under this corner piece, there's like very little tile under there. The overlap on these should actually be hiding the top screw. So when you get down to here, they're good. And the bottom ones might have been perfect or a little bit too small. But then as they go up, but anyways, it's not just here. It's on all of them. So, yeah. And you can see here, it's harder, I guess you can't really see, but this is where they were painting the metal gray. Because he said it only came in one color, and blue was, brown was the only color. We had another heavy storm last night. Rain flew through, no leaks. So happy with that. Okay, so to wrap this one up, I don't want to get too nitpicky. I don't want to get too whiny. You know, people are asking me, did anything go wrong? Most of the time it seemed like quite a smooth build. 40 centimeters too high. That was a big one. That was a tough one to swallow. And he was just trying to brush it over and say, oh, it's because you're a foreigner, you're tall, so I wanted the roof to be tall. Instead of saying, yeah, man, we messed up. Anywho, it's done. And water runs, water flows, water flushes, electricity is good. We have the AIS Wi-Fi, so we're getting the 200/200 speed here, so that's good. Everything's good now, right? Retired. Yep. Anyways, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, there won't be any more like it, because unless we start another project, let's think about that. There's always room for another project. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time, real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hey YouTube, it's Polar Attack. My vlog will feature travel and adventure touring. Come along for the ride. What's stopping you? Come on, let's do this. Hey YouTube, it's Polar Attack. My vlog will feature travel and adventure touring. Come along for the ride. What's stopping you? Come on.